Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. So here's a little something I kind of learned the hard way. I used it as a MO before, but even more of late, in the later years, I had to realize that when you go to court, one of the things that will drive you nuts or crazy is how slow the court system works. Or you go into court and you lose the first time around, and then you have to appeal from a magistrate to a judge, or in Washington State it's from a commissioner to a judge called revision, or you do a reconsideration, or you get a bad ruling up front and then you have a guardian ad litem come on board and you go through the motions with mediation. Both of them are total scams. I'll give you a thing about the guardian ad litem real quick. Let's say the mother's coming to court and trying to prove you're a monster. The case is between you and the mother. Why do they have a guardian ad litem go out there and interview the mother, the father, watch a visit, maybe interview the kids, collateral witnesses, when you guys are going to come to court and say that anyway? You see how stupid this whole thing is? And everybody's like, oh, a guardian ad litem's coming on board. That's an attorney or a social worker. Or, they might even have a master's degree in social work. Somebody comes on board. See, when you go to court, think about a prosecutor. It's your duty to present evidence to prove somebody's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. In family court or other courts like this, you got to prove by preponderance of evidence that, or more likely than not, 51-49, that this person's a bad parent, with the presumption that they're a fit parent acting in the best interest of the child. That's Chalkster versus Granville. If you don't understand that, then you need to start at Legal 101. You should get a consultation with me. There's a whole bunch of fundamental arguments. This is why I'm actually changing my rates now, where I got to have people start off a consultation with an hour and a half, pay me a fee to do an hour and a half, because everybody wants to do this 20-minute stuff. I'm not doing the 20 minutes anymore. And they want to take 30 minutes from me and rip me off. And they don't get enough information. They're half-assing it. If you really want to fight for your kids, you're really going to want to get a good briefing of all the basics the first time around. Then you can ask the quickie question for half an hour. Nobody ever has. I thought 20 minutes would do it. I was wrong. Nobody ever has a quickie question. Nobody ever actually has, it's only going to take me 1 minute. So you don't know what the hell you're doing, and you're going to determine to me that the answer that you're looking for when you're totally lost will only take 5 minutes? How do you even know that? This is why you're in the situation you're now. You don't have any common sense that God gave a monkey, and you just assume you can make a phone call for a few minutes, and now you know how to engage in a court battle war for the next year. Come on. Can you even take a course for a quarter for 2 or 3 months in college and spend 20 minutes to be ready for the final exam? Come on, man. So anyway, the guardian ad litem is a scam. So let me get back to this mentality. You have to jump through all these hoops, go through all this stuff. You have to think of this as a war or a marathon. Once you make up your mind, this is a long-term war. I will get lied about. I will get shafted. I will get persecuted. But there's too many delicate, flowery, gentle, limp-wristed simp cowards who are like, I want it now, microwave society, push-button society. Everything's on an app. You're getting dragged into a slow, dragging out, knuckle-dragging brawl, a 15-round heavyweight bout. Once you make up your mind, I'm going for this. Most people win when they tough it out, hang in there for the long term. And a lot of times, I get surprised. Somebody has their mind made up. They're going to go for it. They're going to go to war. And then the other side quits 2 months in because they can't take the fact that they didn't punk you, make you bow down and roll over. And you never show your cards. Too many men bitch out like a punk and say, please, let's go to mediation and just make this go away. Please, please. You're so stupid you don't think outside the box and have any self-awareness. And I call this stuff stupid because it is stupid. Your life with your kids is on the line. You need to be smart. But you want to be in your feelings and be triggered and feel entitled to justice just because you're a good dad, and the corrupt justice system should treat you differently, even though it's screwed over millions of dads for several decades now. You're not entitled to jack squat. You had a kid with a crazy woman. Welcome to the circus. So that being said, you have to make up your mind. I am going to get screwed. I'm going to get lied about. This is going to be a long, dragging out war. Like, nobody loses 100 pounds overnight. You got to think, okay, I got to fight off the cupcakes. I got to fight off the soda pop. I got to get up in the morning and first thing get my exercise in. I got to not eat for a little while. I always want to stuff my face. I need to start sacrificing. But if you want to keep your normal, you're in a war over your kids, especially if your kids are 1, 2, 5 or whatever, you got another decade and a half to deal with this stuff. You better get it right away. You better go, like some stupid jackass, moronic punk cowards say, oh, well, I'll just settle on her having custody, but I'll come back later and modify. It doesn't work that way, dumbass. That's your lazy, or that's your inner bitch saying just put it off. Procrastination actually is rooted in fear because you're afraid to deal with something now and confront it and knock it out and get it over with. And fear will cause somebody to flee or run when nobody pursues them. It's an age-old biblical proverb, and it rings true. All the scriptures and proverbs about fear show, I mean, they lay it out, and you see the insanity of how people act when they're in fear. You know, you don't show your poker face, or you don't show your cards in poker. You don't tell the other team what play you're running, unless you're Larry Bird or, you know, some legend like that who gets bored of destroying people, you know, while they're tricking them. You know, they want to just tell them, you know, they give themselves a little challenge. But in general, you don't show your cards. But we show our cards because we get our panties in a bunch. Now, I understand. You're blindsided by this. Your whole life is wiped out. Like Steve Harvey, that he just found out his wife cheated on him. Now she wants $400 million of the empire that he built after, I guess, he took on 3 or 4 kids she had by another man. So, you know, Steve Harvey supposedly left his first wife, so there's slander about that. But if everything that's said about him right now is true, he got totally punked. A woman shouldn't be entitled to an empire that she didn't build. That's one law they probably should change, that it's a burden for the wife to prove how she contributed to the man's wealth. If he already had it, she doesn't get some of that. But what they do is whatever's fair and equitable, and a prejudicial judge says, oh, this is fair and equitable, so I'm just going to do this. So anyway, that would be a good law to change, that she would have to prove how much she participated to make him wealthy. If he's already wealthy, that's too bad. So anyway, it's a long-term war. You got to think this is going to be emotional. What if you have your mind made up that it's going to be a long-term war, then when it drags out and messes with your head, it won't mess with your head as much because you already know it. If you know you got to lose 100 pounds and you want to do it in 3 days, and you look at the scale and you haven't lost anything in 3 days, you'll get frustrated and quit. If you know that your kids are worth it, you're going to put off your life for a year. You're just going to go to work, eat, and research and study, or work with your lawyer, which you shouldn't get a lawyer. You should do this yourself. I can't believe how many dumbasses hit me up and say, you know what kind of lawyer, or can you recommend a good lawyer? No, dumbass. I'm here telling you all the lawyers are in on it. Did you not listen to what I know you said you did it, but I can't do it. You dumbass, I'm on here telling people you can and showing people how to do it. Wake the hell up. Listen to what I'm actually saying and stop being a bitch. I've been on a roll here, speaking really harshly, because I keep getting this wimpy crybaby stuff after I tell people and show them. I was a warehouse worker who flunked out of college, didn't know anything about the legal system. I went in there just because I had some balls and wanted to fight for my kid and was willing to fight for her until she's 18. That mentality got me through and got me finding all this stuff through blood, sweat, and tears that you guys get for free at your fingertips, and you still don't want to fight. You have to be in it for the long haul. You have to set your life aside for a little while. Just think about it. 1 year of you setting aside your life to learn how to fight the right way in your court case, or get a few appointments with me for a few bucks. Some of you guys are such dumbass tightwads, you don't want to spend a few bucks on me, but you'll spend $10,000 on an attorney who's telling you you're going to lose. And I proved that I won. Did you even ask your attorney how many times they got a dad 50-50 or whatever? You have to be in it for the long haul. Set aside your life sacrifice, because you got the rest of your life with your kids to be rewarded if you fight the right way.